Greetings ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. I will be your host, Thrones, bringing you another role-playing build known as the Lich. The Lich in a nutshell is a role-playing build intended specifically for a niche casual playstyle for questing around and all-around normal content. It is in no way made for veteran content, it is not made to min-max, nor is it made for any type of difficult content or veteran dungeons. The build revolves around playing as a reanimated corpse or an undead being, particularly a still intelligent undead spellcaster. Liches are undead necromancer which have embraced the power of lichdom, the most sophisticated form of undeath. It is commonly done by transferring their soul into an object. Only necromancers with the utmost mastery of the dark arts can turn inward in their studies, attempting to manipulate their very own soul. And now, for the build. For our attributes, we went full Magicka. I am playing as a Necromancer. It is highly recommended to play as a Necromancer. However, if you do not own the Elsewhere expansion nor have the Necromancer class unlocked, you can always play as either a Sorcerer, which has a couple of skill lines related to summoning Daedric minions, or Soul Gem magic. And we can also play as a Nightblade, which is more or less blood magic related. However, for the best results, I definitely recommend playing as a Necromancer because the whole theme is around being a Lich. I am playing as a High Elf inspired by the first ever Lich, quote-unquote first ever Lich, Menimarco, and that's it. We went full Magicka for our attributes because we are Magicka related, we are spellcasters. So yeah, for the buff food I am using Witch Mother's Potent Brew. For the Mundus Stone I didn't activate anything yet, however I do recommend either going with the Thief Stone for the best damage, or you can go with the Atronach for more magical recovery if you're struggling in that regard. For our skills, we are using a very typical and basic Necromancer build. There's nothing too special. For this first skill on our front bar, we went with the Yeeting Skull. Basically, just a beautiful skill. It just yeets skulls at enemies. You can replace this with other spammables if you prefer, maybe Force Shock, morphing it into Force Pulse. You can go with that one, or you can go with the Psijic one, which by itself is also pretty powerful. However, I don't want to go with the Psijic Necromancer on this one, even though that would be a quite interesting theme, going with the Menimarco steps, combining Necromancy and Psijic Order to get the Menimarco thingy. However, I wanted to go as pure Lich as I can, and using as little other skills as I can that are not from the class skill line. The second ability, I'm using Stalking Blast Bones. Exploding skeleton, nothing much to say there. Hungry Scythe I'm using for the AoE damage and for the heal and heal over time you get. It is quite nice to not die with this ability, honestly. The fourth skill I'm using Degeneration. Two reasons. The first and main reason is granting us Major Brutality and Sorcery, increasing our weapon and spell damage by 20%. I'm not a fan of using spell pots, so I like to use trash pots. And for that reason I'm going with Degeneration on this one. You have other sources of getting Major Brutality and Sorcery, one of them being also from dual wielding, maybe two-handed. I'm not sure if the class itself offers one, because I'm pretty sure it doesn't, but yeah, Degeneration for me. The fifth skill, I'm using Inner Light. Two reasons. Oh yeah, forgot to... the second reason of using Degeneration, it's because it's from the major skill line, and it increases our maximum Magicka by 2% for being slotted, and combined with Inner Light as well, that's 4% in total. You can also slot in the Meteor, however I don't want to go with the Meteor because I'm going with the Colossus. Also, every time you use it, you get Empower for 3 seconds, increasing the damage of your light and heavy attacks. So every time you cast Degeneration, you have 3 seconds to have some extra damage. Plus, it's a really great DOT. For the fifth skill, Inner Light gives us Major Savagery and Major Prophecy, again, so we don't have to use spell pots. I don't like spell pots, I don't want to use spell pots, they're expensive. I don't want to spend money on expensive stuff. Even though this is on PTS, I still don't like playing it on my main account, so trash pots for the win. For the ultimate, I went with Pestilent Colossus. The only reason why I went with the Pestilent Morph is because it deals a little bit more damage. However, either of the morphs applies major vulnerability to all the enemies for 12 seconds, increasing their damage taken by 10%. You can always slot in whatever the heck you want. If you prefer more elemental damage, you can always go with Elemental Storm. If you prefer, I don't know, playing as a giant Bone Goliath, go with this one. If you like to summon a couple of more Blast Bones, go with Reanimate and then go with Animate Blast Bones, and it consumes 3 corpses no matter if they're allies or enemies, which summons more exploding skeletons. You can play around, see what you see fit. However, I will be going with the Colossus on this bar. On the second bar, we are using Mystic Siphon. It's a free ability basically, it doesn't cost any resources. When you activate it, it deals a lot of DOT damage. The other recommended morph is the Shocking Siphon. Yeah, I can't remember the other one. However, it is the one that deals more poison or disease damage, and it deals definitely more damage because it explodes as well. However, I went with the Mystic one for the visuals. It's more bluish rather than greenish. I want to go with the bluish effects. And also, while it's active, you get some health, Magicka, and stamina recovery, and while slotted, your damage done is increased by 3%. It is recommended maybe if you don't want this spammable, so you slot it on your front bar as well, like this. However, I kind of like the Yeeting Skull, and I'm gonna stick with the Yeeting Skull. Maybe you can move the generation on the back bar and slap on this one on the front bar. It could be more Max-ish, however, this is a role-playing build, so yeah, we don't care about that. The second ability is Unnerving Boneyard. 2 reasons. It's a great DOT, and it applies Major Breach to enemies within reducing their physical and spell resistance. If you cast it while there is a corpse on the ground, it deals 50% more damage. So try to always yeet one of these first, and then activate the Unnerving Boneyard so it deals more damage. And now I can also activate the Synergy and dealing more frost damage. So with the frost damage, you can always try out with the frost stuff, maybe lightning stuff, maybe combine going with the lightning stuff back bar, fire stuff front bar, and with this one, so you can have all 3 elements if you're into that type of stuff. However, I went with fire stuff on both bars because I'm too lazy to try out the other ones. The fourth ability the third ability we are using Unstable Wall of Fire. It's unstable, it deals a lot of kaboom damage, a lot of exploding damage, and I'm using the Maelstrom back stuff, so it deals even more damage with the light attacks. The fourth ability is Necrotic Potency. It heals us, it gives us ultimate back, and while slotted, damage taken is reduced by 3%. It's not a lot, but you know, it counts. However, I really use it mostly for the ultimate gain. The fifth ability is Skeletal Arcanist. It summons a skeleton. It summons a skeleton that zaps enemies with lightning damage. Yeah, that's it. That's it. It just does that. However, also upon I think when it expires, it creates a corpse, so it helps out with other stuff. For the ultimate, I went with Soul Assault because, why not, I was just playing around, so it deals quite a lot of damage over 6 seconds. It could be really fun to use, you don't have to, I just put it here for role-playing purposes. You can always go with Bone Goliath, you can always go with, I don't know, Elemental Storm, you can always go with another Meteor, or you can even go with the Dawnbreaker on the front bar if you want to min-max it. However, as I said, this channel is not for min-maxing, it's purely for RP purposes. Now that we're done with the skills, do I have any recommendations? Sure, you can always slot on bone armor. If you're gonna use spell pots, you can slot off Degeneration and Inner Light. Go with both bars with the Mystic Siphon for the extra damage, more sustain. You can, if you want to make min-max, you want to go dual wielding on your front bar. You can always go with Blade Cloak, and for spammables, you can always slot on Trap Beast for getting the minor force, and you can use as your spammable Silver Bolts for even more damage. But we don't care about that, do we? You can always slot on Spirit Mender as well for a little bit more healing if you feel like, you know, you're struggling with healing. However, I found that Hungry Scythe is just enough for the normal content to stay alive. Now for our gear. For the gear, we tried to achieve as much Lich effects as we could, quite literally. So the first one is Narayanath. When you deal direct damage, you have 15% chance to summon a Lich crystal that explodes. It's from, I think it's Crypt of Hearts 2, veteran mode, you get the mask. For the shoulder I have no idea, I can't remember. But I think it's from the Red Guard woman? No, it's from Glirian the Redbeard, yeah. It summons a Lich crystal, that's it. It's really beautiful. Mwah. For the second set we are using Bahraha's Curse. This used to be a really great set back in the day, however, ever since they killed the scaling of it, because it now scales from your maximum health, it deals less damage than it did before. However, we are still gonna use it for two reasons. First of all, the 4-piece reduce your damage taken from environmental traps. We really don't care about that one. The 5-piece, it summons a Lich rune. That's it. It summons a Lich rune. Enemy standing in it, it heals you. Combined with your scythe, you're not gonna die. Trust me. Even though it's only like 600 to 700 damage per second, it's basically 600 to 700 healing per second. Combined with your scythe, which deals, I don't know, 500 healing per second. That's basically like 1000 to 500 healing per second. When it crits, it can heal even more. But the main reason is basically the rich on the rune. The third set is Calurian's Legacy. The reason being, it gives us the visual effect of the Lich shoulders on our shoulders. And let us demonstrate those sets basically. Let's go with Narayanath first. There's the Lich crystal. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Do I have a alternative? Yeah, Kjalmark, but I don't really... I want to go with the Lich one, not the Necromancer, even though we are a Necromancer. Yeah, that's the crystal. Yeah, no, please, can you please? Can you, oh shit. No. It deals quite a lot of damage, and it's AoE. It can be activated every 3 seconds. It's just beautiful, dealing direct damage, and we deal a lot of direct damage. The Bahraha's Curse. When you deal damage, you have a 25% chance to create a rune. There it is, the Lich rune. It heals us for 100% of the damage done, and it's usually up 100% of the time with all of your AoEs going on, with all of your exploding bones, with all of your skeletons. It's just a nice ability. And for Calurian's shoulder pieces, it's kind of hard to notice because it only appears for a couple of seconds, but there they are. Beautiful pieces, just beautiful. However, it has a higher cooldown than the other ones. It's around every 10 seconds and deals either fire or frost or shock or even disease damage. So yeah. And the fun part is all of 3 sets are named after liches. Basically Narayanath from Crypt of Hearts 2, the last boss, which is basically a half lich-ish kind of guy. Bahraha is from Hughesbane, I think. Yeah, I think it's from Hughesbane. It's... yeah, it's somewhere around here. I don't have the map markers, so sorry about that. And Calurian himself is from Fanglair, and he's also a Lich. Do I have any alternatives? Yes, I do. In case you don't have access to Calurian, for example, or... yeah, Bahraha is really cheap to get. You can get it in jewelry, you can get it in armor pieces. It can drop in medium armor, it can drop in heavy armor, it can drop in... yeah. Narayanath also... it's a non-DLC dungeon, you can get it quite easily. Bahraha's Curse quite easily and cheap. If you don't have access to Thieves Guild, not a problem. Just, you know, need 20k, 30k gold and you're good to have the best pieces in the game. You can also go well with it. It doesn't have to be perfect traits. However, if you don't have Calurian or Fanglair as a dungeon, you have some alternatives. So first of all is Dragonkin from Unhallowed Grave. It increases your damage done by 330, but reduces your healing taken by 10%. It's from Unhallowed Grave. It's another DLC dungeon. If you don't have it, not a problem. We have Necropotence. However, this is a really risky set to run because Necromancers don't have a pet 24/7. They only have a pet when they activate it and for only a couple of seconds. So if you accidentally drop or don't take care of your Skeletal Arcanist, you're gonna play around with a lot of your Magicka. You can always go with Withered Hand every time you're in combat with an enemy. Basically, every time you kill an enemy, every 3 seconds you get health and Magicka back. It's nice, it's beautiful. Scathing Mage from Imperial City Prison. When you deal direct damage, you have a 20% chance to increase your weapon and spell damage by 500% for 5 seconds. This is only on gold quality. On purple quality it goes, I think, around 480, 490-ish. The Lich set from the Crypt of Hearts. When you cast an ability that costs resources while under 33% Magicka, while in combat, your Magicka recovery is increased by 1000 for 20 seconds, and it can only occur every 1 minute. Big Magicka recovery right there. You can always go with Worms Raiment. Raiment. It's basically from Vaults of Madness, gives you 3 orbs, blue-looking orbs. It has a unique style to it, just like the Lich style. And yeah, 3 orbs, magic recovery, nice set. And the last one I can recommend is the Warlock set. When you cast an ability that costs resources, you restore around 10,000 Magicka, which can occur every 45 seconds. If you want a lot of Magicka, combine Warlock and the Lich, and you're never gonna run out of Magicka. And if you even add to that, I don't know, maybe either going with the Mage Stone giving you even more Magicka, or going with the Atronach Stone for more Magicka recovery, you're literally never gonna run out of Magicka. You can always try out, if you don't like the monster set, I don't know why you shouldn't, because it's a Lich Crystal, and yeah, it's a Lich Crystal. You can always try out arena sets like, I don't know, a Silent Front Staff, or maybe going with, I don't know, more AoE with the Black Rose stuff. Really up to you. For the CP, always I'm gonna leave everything up to you guys. However, I'm running Rationer for more buff food duration, liquid efficiency to not consume a potion every time you use it. I'm going with the Gifted Rider for more mount speed, and I'm going with the War Mount because my horse is a skeleton horse, and a skeleton horse having stamina is kind of, you know, yeah, it's not immersive. I'm using this one so it can infinitely sprint and outside. Yeah. For the blue tree, I went simple with Wrathful Strikes, I went Fighting Finis, I went Direct Damage, Master at Arms, and I went Biting Aura because a lot of our skills, if not almost all of our skills, are AoE. And for the red tree, I went with Health, Armor. Every time we kill an enemy, we get Magicka and Stamina back. It goes all well with the undead theme, you know. Killing stuff, so stealing their soul, etc, etc. As for the fashion, I went with the Worm Cult. And I went full light. I really like the Worm Cult fashion, even in medium or heavy, it just looks bloody gorgeous. It's just one of the best ones. However, it is kind of expensive, I think, these days when it comes to paying in gold. And if you want alternatives when it comes to immersion, I also recommend Worm Cult, Fanged Worm, pardon me. It drops from Battlegrounds. Everyone can have it if you just queue up, you know, every day for some Battlegrounds. You'll get it some pieces eventually. It leaves our chest open. I went with the zombie skin just because of, you know, undead theme. With the consciousness, I didn't want to go zombie, then it's no longer with consciousness. It looks really nice. You can always go with Fanglair. It's, I think, it's not too expensive, but it's also not too cheap, so you can get it, I think, chest piece you can get for like 20, 30, maybe 50k gold, depending on which server and which platform you're playing on. However, I play on PCU, so it's pretty cheap down here. You can always try out these styles. However, if you're more desert themed guy, you can always go with Pyre Watch. Looks pretty nice as well. You can play around, see what fits you. If you're playing as a Namira Lich, like the mirror type, you can always go with the Void set from the Overland. You can combine it with the Vatron weapons, Vatron sets from that place, and then go with Night Hollow. You can go with that one if you want more of a nighty look. However, it's too far from being a quote-unquote Lich, and I don't want to go that route. You can always try a Draugr if you're going with more of a Nord style, or you can go with a Dragon Priest style if you want to go with a Dragon Priest type of Lich. And for that one I recommend Scalecaller or Horned Dragon, which has these Dragon Priest-ish aesthetics. Horned Dragon. Here we go. One of my favorite helmets in the game is honestly Horned Dragon. However, if you're lucky enough to get the Scalecaller mount or the Scalecaller set, you can always go with the Scalecaller Frostbane, I think it's the name, and it also has the Mirak mask and the Mirak stuff, so you can always try out those as well. You can always go with Barbaric if you're more of a Breton-ish type of Necromancer, or Ancient, where is it? Ancient. Yeah, Ancestral Reach. Really nice skull effects on it. You can always just play around, see what tingles your butthole. You can always go with Ice Reach, for more of the witchy type of aesthetics, you know. Sea Giant, I don't know, just play around, see what's your thing. You can always go as, in the beginning I did mention a Psijic, so going with a Psijic Necromancer, and many players have the collector's edition from the Somerset, so it also offers you the Bloodthirsty Wraith mount, which has a red color to it. Let me just get it since this is a PTS. Oh wait, no, I can't get it. Never mind. It's basically a giant Psijic horse with red glow. It can fit quite nicely. For personality, I went with the worm personality, but you can always go with the zombie or whatever heck you want. Maybe the Telvanni Magister, just for a classic, you know, easy mage type fashion. And for the staff, I went with Skull of Corruption. This is a limited time outfit style from the Crown Store. I do like it personally, and in my quote-unquote backstory in my head on this character, he is related to Vermina, which gave him the, you know, dreams and stuff, so he became a Lich related to those dreams. It's kind of a long story, so didn't want to go too much into it. However, for some alternative stuffs, I do recommend the Draugr one. Here we go, Draugr 1. It also offers a giant skull on it. It's not as fancy as the last one, but does the trick. You can always go with the Worm one. The Fanged Worm. It has skulls on it, really beautiful style. You can go with the Fang Layer one as well. Really just play around, see what fits your playstyle. You can go with the Gloambound, maybe the Night Hollow, or just a stick. The Prophet one is just a nice stick. If you want to go with the prisoner look, you can get quite the results. Basically a undead prisoner that turned into a Lich, and yeah, put some shirt, maybe a hood, maybe from Prophet, or yeah, a easy look. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and stick to the end if you want to look some gameplay where I'm basically playing with this character, and yes, without the Mundus Stone, in Crypt of Hearts 1 normal mode, not veteran mode. So just so you can see that you can actually, as a matter of fact, play through all the normal content with this build. So yeah. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you around.
Please, my... I'm free. I thank you.
I think I may have a more pressing issue.
Rulanir didn't. Rulanir.
Olenway, I don't think your husband enjoys my company.
Stop!
Your soul as well.
I am ever grateful. Thank you for freeing. I didn't. Yes, I never understood. He. you feel that? The others are returning!
I don't know where you found your new friends, Alanway, but they don't seem to fear death. It's admirable.
They can speak to that better than I. But they've bested my husband's minions. We owe them everything.